Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Patam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Bhattarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavandau Punah Punah Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmatacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Beda Vibhagini Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Ukaro Anthakaro Vairukarastan Nivartakaha Anthakara Nirodhitvat Gururitya Vidhiyate Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sah Viryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhi Tamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Om Namo Bhagavate Vaivasvataya Mrityave Brahma Vidya Acharyaya Nachiketase Namaha. We are in the third section of second chapter, Kaṭha Upaniṣad, which will be the last section also. And we already saw in the last class, fifth verse. I will read just and I will go to the sixth verse. Okay. Just I will read that. Yatha tarshe tata atmani Yatha supne tatha pitarloke Yatha apsu para parivadatarshe Tatha gantarvaloke Chaya tapayo iva brahmaloke. We have elaborately discussed the meaning of this verse in the last class. The gradation is being told by the Lord Death to Nachiketas. How the vision about the Atma or the self in different places, if a person attains any place other than the earth, there are places and one can reach there after departing from the body. If you go there, it is not liberation, it is not freedom from all kinds of sorrows or worries. It is just another place for different kinds of experiences with our senses. So, vision of Atma is the ultimate solution for an individual to come out of all kinds of limitations and sorrows. Atma Darshanam. This is the Sanskrit word for seeing oneself as an all-pervasive Brahman. Atma Darshanam. Establishing oneself that in spite of all the body, mind, senses and complex, which are directly perceived, apart from that, one will see the all-pervasive Brahman is my real nature. That is myself. It will not be available in the same degrees if we go from this world and reach some other places. That is being told here elaborately. I already mentioned you. So, Shankara says in the Bhashya, Bhashya means the commentary for this verse. He says properly the last two sentences, very important. Here he has written like this, the last two sentences. Tasmad Atma Darshanaya Iha eva Yatnaha Kartavyaha iti Abhiprayaha. It is very difficult. I will give you the meaning. First, I will say why he written like that. It is very difficult to see or to study about oneself in any part of the creation other than this world. There are heaven, different types of heaven. It is been told in the Vedas. Some other worlds also been told in the Vedas, and one can reach by doing particular rituals or doing certain activities in this world. Even if you go there, you can just experience different kinds of enjoyments with our senses. But it's not called freedom or moksham or liberation. For liberation, now I will give the meaning. Tasmad, therefore, in this world itself, in this birth itself, one should put effort in the pursuit of liberation. Is the opinion by this verse given by the Lord Death. Why Lord Death told to Nachiketas this verse? As a human being, one should set the goal to be free from this bondages, to be free from all kinds of limitations, to be free from all kinds of worries and sorrows which we are facing as an individual living being who has a body. That being the goal, one can reach the goal in this birth itself. He already mentioned that. One can reach the goal in this birth itself. Moksham, liberation, is the goal. Free from all kinds of limitations. That will also include free from all kinds of worries and sorrows. In spite of all the limitations what body is having, one will be free while living in this world. Body limitations will not be my limitations after coming to know that I am this all-pervasive individual self. For that knowledge, one needs to put effort. This is what Shankara says in this sentence. Yatnaha kartavyaha iti abhiprayaha. This is the opinion given by the Lord Death that one should put effort in this birth or in with this body itself. As a human being, we will be attracted for different things in this world. As a female, I may get attracted towards males. As a male, I will get attracted with the females. As a person who enjoys foods, I will get attracted with the different foods in different countries. As a person who enjoys driving, I will be attracted with the different types of cars. All these things will guarantee that you will come again and again in this world or in another world with a lot of troubles, endowing with a body, endowed with a body. We are here to give up this body and to make an end for our death and birth cycle. Janana Marana Samsara Vimuktaye Aham Atmajnanam Shravanam Kuryat. For the eradication of the death and birth cycle, I need to put effort for listening. Who am I? Right information can only absorbed by listening, no other way. Mistake is the main culprit bringing death and birth cycle in this world. About myself, I mistaken myself. In order to take away the mistake, right information is the only solution. And for the right information, listening is the only way. No other way. Of course, if you have a proper understanding in a language, if somebody writes a book and give it to you, that will also be helpful to get right information. But in tradition, we say that, as Lord Death told to Nachiketas, Prapya Varan Nibodhata. Varan Prapya Nibodhata. Uttishtada Jagrada. Lord Death told to Nachiketas, awake, arise, be alert in this world, because the world is like a crocodile. Lot of pressures are around us and we will be get attracted. So be alert. And Varan Prapya, may you reach in the feet of traditional teachers who are crossed over this ocean of samsara, Varan, Varishtan, who command respect due to their knowledge and due to their behavior. Varan Prapya, after reaching them, Nibodhada, may you come to know that you are this all-pervasive Brahman. So in the tradition, there is no directly reading books and understanding about oneself. It will not work. An alive person should give you the information. If at all, if it is possible to go directly towards the person and study, that will be the best way. When it is not easy or when it is not practical, that we are in different countries or we are in different places, and the technology has improved a lot. Through technology, at least we have to meet to get this information. So a live person should give this information to a disciple. Varan prapya nibodhata. Uttishtada jagrada prapya varan nibodhata. He already mentioned. So from that sentence itself, we have to understand that one need to study directly under a proper traditional teacher. They will make all the things possible. You have to just reach them. Real traditional teacher, one who don't take advantage, get other than not easy anywhere other in the creation other than in this world. So one needs to put effort in this world with this body itself. This is the entire gist of this verse. This is what is pointed out by the Lord Death after giving the gradation of different worlds, how they teach, how one will get the knowledge. So this world and this body is the best choice to get this information. After saying this, Shankaracharya gave a connection for the next words. Tat avabhote prayojanam iti uchyate. Lord is unfolding the next verse, and for that Adi Shankara, the commentator, gives a connection. How can one easily understand the Atman when the body, mind, senses, and complex are strongly deep rooted in this world? Katham asau bodhabhya. How can we understand? And Kimva, after realizing this I am Atman or I am Brahman, tad avabodhe, what will be the purpose served? What is the use after knowing I am Brahman, after my realization about oneself? What will be the purpose? Here, this is the connection given by the Lord Adi Shankara, and Lord Death reveals another verse to Nachiketas, that is verse number 6. I will read and I will give you the meaning. Indriyanam pratak bhavam udayasthamayau chayat pratak utpadhyamananam matva dhiro na shochati. I will read once more. Indriyanam pratak bhavam utayasthamayau chayat pratak utpadhyamananam matva dhiro na shochati. Now, Lord gives the discriminative verse, how one can easily separate the self from the body. That is, if a person help you to discriminate when there are twins in front of you, by birth they look, they wear same ornaments. It's very difficult to discriminate one from other, because they are in the same dress, same ornament. Even in Rishikesh, we have a shop in market. Two brothers who are very similar each other, and they put the name for the shop, twins shop, Judua Bai Ka Dukan. They look very similar. Now they are 60 or 65 years old. Can you imagine? Even now they come to the shop with the same dress. Both will be in the same dress, same shoe, same socks, same cap if they put cap. At the age of 65, as a uniform, they wear same dress, same shoes, same socks, same cap, and the same specs also. There is a harmony between their thinking, even after the entrance of their wives in their life. We used to see him in the market near to the Bharat Mandir Rishikesh. Fine. Now come to the topic. When something is very difficult to separate one from another, even Shankara says in Brahma Sutra Bhashya commentary, in another book commentary, Satyanrite mithuni kritya naisargikoyam ayam loka vyavaharaha. The truth and the untruth mixed up together which cannot be separated easily. Thus, the empirical activities are possible in this world. Naisargiha, it is very natural. Empirical activities. So it's not very easy for anybody to know the reality when we have a lot of sensual pleasures around us. It's not very easy to separate this all-pervasive Brahman from the superimposed body, mind, sense complex. Because when you imagine a snake on the rope, completely a rope is hiding in the superimposition of the snake. For the time being, there is no rope at all for a person who sees snake. So here, Lord Death reveals Nachiketas. Whatever you enjoy in this world, whatever things you experience in this world, keeping in that in the mind, Lord reveals like this. Very interesting way of revealing. What did he say? Indriyanam pratak bhavam. Indriyam means senses. I will go one step more further, body, because senses are attached towards a body. We cannot get senses separately. Indriyanam pratak bhavam. Pratak bhav should be separated, should be seen separately. From what? From the Atman. My features are all-pervasiveness, immortality, not depending upon anything. My happiness will be in full measure. Nirvishaya Ananda Avapti. These are all my real features. I only experience happiness depending upon something other than me. An ice cream, a beautiful car, a beautiful bird, a beautiful woman. Thus, any secondary thing is the subject for my happiness. But real feature about me is nirvishayam, absence of any secondary things. And I am completely happy in spite of any other thing in the world. These are my real features, really speaking. Immortality, amrtatva, eternity, nityatva. And also sarva vyapitam, all pervasiveness. My body doesn't have sarva vyapitam, really. From here to here is my sarva vyapitam. Alpa vyapi. I am pervasive in a very little space. So, one needs to know that any future pertaining to the superimposed things will not be the features of the real thing. Again, I will repeat this sentence. This sentence is the key sentence. If I superimpose something and I superimpose certain features on that something, I don't know what is exactly there lying. I superimpose some other thing other than what it is. And some features also I will superimpose. Those features are not there in real for the substractum. Superimposed thing itself is a creation of my mind. Superimposition is not created by the substractum. Superimposition is a creation created by ignorant mind. When you don't know what is exactly right in front of us, I, I imagine something other than what it is. Atasmin tad buddhi. When I don't know it is a rope, I may superimpose as a snake, as a stick, as a stream of water. If you put a mic near to that and there is a flow of water is there, we may imagine a rope as a flow of water, stream of water. Anything one can imagine as a stick. So superimposition is a mistake created by the human mind. And two things are happening there. Concealing the original thing, hiding the original thing, avaranam in Sanskrit. Rope is not known. Vikshepam, projection, hiding and projecting. First of all, it hides the real thing, then it projects some other thing. These two things are there in our mind. Totally, we can say Maya, the power of Brahman. Don't get confused. Brahman itself putting some pressure to hide itself. Not like that. When you study, you understand Maya means hiding something as it is known to me. It cannot be understood properly. It's called hiding, concealing. And we project something other than what it is. We do both things with our mind. Mind is a product of Maya. That is why Avaranam and Vikshevam is also there in the mind. Now, this base after having, I want to make you understand what Lord Death told to Nachiketas. Substractum is completely free from the superimposed thing, which never existed at any point of time. Substractum, the real thing, is free from the superimposed thing. Our body is superimposed reality. For the time being, I'm saying reality. There is no reality in the body for the sake of understanding. Body is superimposed on the Brahman. And the body goes through three states every day. Dream state, waking state, deep sleep state. Waking state is called Jagrata Avastha. When we wake up, our senses are in full measure. It can see everything around me. Waking state. Our senses are working properly and it can see my brother, my father, my wife, my buildings, my cars, my ornaments, everything. Waking state. Dream state. My senses are absorbed inside the mind. My mind is only working in the dream state. In deep sleep state, mind also get absorbed in the unmanifested form of Brahman. So in the waking state, mind is also working, all the senses also working. But in the dream state, mind only works and all the senses are completely absorbed inside the mind. All these features are pertaining to the body, not for the Atman, because Atman is without part, Nishkalam, Purnam. Atman is not endowed with any kind of senses. What are the phenomenons of senses? What are the activities of senses done in the body will not make any changes in the Atman, because superimposed characteristics will not make any changes in the truth, what we call the Brahman. Body is a superimposition on the reality, and the senses are in the body. Whatever senses do, even if you think something rubbish, you will not become impure because you are ever pure Brahman. Your body thought something rubbish. If you do a misaction, still you are pure. You are a person who is performing non-action. Whatever your body has done, whatever the body is having, all these things will not affect Atman. Senses are pertaining to the duality or body. Senses are awakened in the waking state. That is what here told. Indriyanam pratak bhava. All the senses which are arising in the waking state should be understood separately from Atman Brahman, which is not the part of Brahman. Udayam means arise. Asthamayam, absorbing. Completely going down and which is not visible at all. In the waking state, all the senses will come into full measure. In the deep sleep state, all the senses go inside the mind, and which is not available for the any kind of empirical activities. This is called asthamayam. Completely missing in the waking state. There is no waking state for the body. It is in the dream state or deep sleep state. There the senses doesn't have any role, don't have any role. They get completely absorbed. We will be completely sleeping without doing anything with our senses. We don't see anything in the dream state outside. We don't sense anything outside when the deep sleep state. This is what here told. Whatever we enjoy in the waking state through senses, whatever we experience in the waking state through senses, whatever we experience without the senses in the deep sleep, whatever experiences we go through without the senses in the dream state, never have any kind of touch doesn't have the connection for all this phenomenon with the Atman. All these things are pertaining to the body. Deep sleep state, dream state, and a waking state. It will not affect the Atman. And all three states are not pertaining to the immortal Atman, which is Nityam, without having any changes. Body is having all these three states, and it's all changing in nature. After having a 12 hours of continuous work, we feel to lay down without the permission of anybody. We go to sleep. Without the permission of anybody, just the waking state enters into the deep dream state. The senses are off, switched off. Only the mind work, and we go through different experiences or connection what we have enjoyed in the waking state. These things doesn't have any connection with the Paramatman. May one understand that, may one discriminate that what are the things pertaining to the body. Never make the Atma impure. Atman is always Nitya Shuddha, ever pure. Here, Shankaracharya want to say that, that Atman which is pure, changeless, eternal, all-pervasive and invisible, which is completely opposed to the body experiences. Body is having impurity, always changing in nature, always non-eternal. And I am not all-pervading with my body. I am staying in a limited space in this world. And I am visible and I am divisible. But Atman is indivisible. Abedam. There is no part, so there is no division. There is no different parts for Atman. So there is no states at all. The idea of the Lord death is, now I can say completely. I will read the first sentence. Now the idea is very clear. Indriyanam pradakbhavam utayastamayau chayat. The rise and also the setting, the rising and the setting of the senses. In the waking state, everything is rising, every senses are rising, and it will grasp different things. But when it comes to the dream state, everything will get set. Everything get absorbed inside the mind. This is called Udayam Asthamayam in Sanskrit. But these characteristics of senses is not going to have any kind of impact in the Atman, because senses are the part of a body. Whatever the body goes through, it will not affect the Atman. One needs to know that, because there will be always guilt inside, I have done this in my life. I have done this in my career. I have hurted somebody. Guilt is this guilt itself will bring a lot of births in our life. So give up the guilt. Whatever we have done in our life before coming to the knowledge, it's no, there is that will not be considered as action. So there is no guilt for a person. Whatever body has done, it will be only pertaining to the body, but I am not the body, I am this Paramatman. Thus, a discriminate, a wise person should understand separately. And here it is told, Pratak Utpadyamananam, Pratak, separately rising and setting, these senses are to be understood that they are distinct from Atman. There is no connection for the arising and setting of senses with Atman. Senses belongs to the body. Senses belong to the body. Body doesn't have any connection with the all-pervasive Brahman, which is formless. Thus, a formless Brahman is being superimposed with a body, and we deal in this world with a lot of things in this world. Thus, we collect a lot of impressions inside our mind as we go from one birth to another birth. But once you comes to know, I am not this body, I am not this senses, I am not this experiences, I don't have any connection with my waking state or dream state or deep sleep state. My body will go through all these states, but I am not this body, I don't have any connection. Thus, when a person comes to know the discrimination from the body and the substratum, what we call self, if a person is having the enough capacity to separate oneself that I am not this body. Whenever I say I am not this body, one should work on that understanding. Then after knowing that I am not this body, one should not behave according to the body in this world. Body has shame, body has anger, body has hunger, body has thirst. My body has everything. I don't have hunger. I don't have thirst. I don't have any kind of desires. I don't have lust. I don't have anything incomplete in my life. Body will have everything which is not connected with me. Thus, a wise will become free from guilt and hurt. When you are a father, you will have a guilt, oh, I didn't give proper education for my children. When you are a husband, you will have a hurt inside your mind. Oh, I scolded my wife very badly. I gave some examples, that's all. You think yourself, what are the guilt and hurts existing in one's own mind? It should be removed by the knowledge that I am not this body, to become more guilt and hurt, to collect more guilt and hurt from this world. At the same time, what are the good features for the body make a person arrogant and become more egoistic also? That should not be there also. When you have some good features throughout your life, you are a good looking one. You have a very muscled body, or you have very beautiful organs. It make you certain ego, you know, it gives you certain ego. Ego means the body notion about yourself. That should also be avoided. When you know that there is no connection with the body, mind, senses, and complex for me, after studying for a length of time under a traditional teacher, I work on that because my ego is very big. My hurt is very big. My guilt is very big. My prejudice, everything, each and every defects of my mind and body should not affect me. After that, you have to think like this. I am free to have some good ego. I am free to have some desires, but I am not this body. Thus, one needs to take care of the desires and ego also. When you go against these things, it will become more powerful, the ego. If you want to give up the ego will become more powerful. It's just like a child. You want to take something from the child, and the child will be holding very strongly. Similarly, we cannot easily erase our ego, cannot give up the ego, and we are not here to give up the ego. Make sure that my body has certain good features. I am free to have some ego, but I am humble and I am the all pervasive Brahman who exists in each and every living being. Thus, one should work on the ego also, one should work on the hurt also, because whatever features, whether it is good or evil, it is coming and going, Utayam and Astamayam. Once you are wake up, everything will pops up. Once you go to deep sleep, everything will get settled in the mind. There is no outside indication of any senses working. These things will not have any connection with the Atman. This is what Lord Dutt says. One need to separate from the Atman. Once you comes to know like this, if a person is having sufficient discrimination to see the substractum and to separate the superimposed form from the substractum, that is enough, that is adequate. If you can see properly, in spite of all the superimposed things like our body, mind, sense complex, I can see myself that I am this all-pervasive Brahman. I never changed or I never get modified into a body. I need not to re-modify myself to a self. No, I see body and it is in the creation, but I am not this body. I am not this senses. I am the substratum of body, mind, sense, and complex. Thus, one should discriminate to oneself. There are different way of teachings to discriminate the self from the body, mind, sense complex. Here, direct way is used, analyzing the three states like waking state, deep sleep state, or dream state. All these states itself shows that it's unstable, it's not stable at all. What is not stable does not belong to Atman. Atman is Nityam, permanent, without any changes. Body have a lot of changes. Face will become gray. The body will have some wrinkles. Face will have some wrinkles. A person get aged daily after 1 year, after 1 year. All these changes indicate that I am not this eternal Atman. This body is not eternal Atman. Thus, by implying the logic, by implying the traditional teachers' equations, one should understand properly that Atman is not connected with the body, mind, sense complex. Atman will not have any kind of effect or defect if any features of body having with the features of the body. Atman will not get affected by the features of the body. Body have a lot of features. Three states are there. Different senses are there, and each and every senses will go behind its own subject. These things will not get paint, fainted the Atman. Atman will be ever untouched by all kinds of experiences because Atman is bodiless, ashariratvat. Knowing that I am free from all kind of body, I am free from all kinds of emotions, I am free from all kinds of impurities. Knowing this, I can keep my body like, walking at a full moon day through the seashore. A shell is being superimposed in the form of silver. After taking the shell in your hand, you confirmed that it is not at all silver, it is a shell. Still, after you walking a few steps, and if you turn back and look at that shell, it shines like silver. Nothing wrong on that. Similarly, after getting the complete information, after getting all the enlightenment regarding oneself from the traditional teacher, you are free to continue to be a body. That will not have an end. Of the enlightenment is not an end for your body. Silver is not at all there, only shell remains. This idea keeping in the mind, you can look at the shell, it will shine like a silver. All the features of the silver is there, but you are not at all confused more. It is not silver, it is a shell. I already examined everything and I thrown that. Still, due to the full moon, the shining is there. It's just like a silver. From this idea, we need to connect our life. After listening to the traditional teachers' studies and teachings, I got enlightened. I am Parabrahm. Nitya Shuddha, Nitya Buddha, Nitya Mukta Subhava, Parabrahm. Ever free, eternal, ever happy, source of happiness. I am this Parabrahm. After knowing this, I am free to have a body to live a life with my wife and children. No problem. Even they can take as a husband or wife. They don't know who am you. And we need not want to make them understand also. Enlightenment is something personal and individual. You cannot say them also that I am an enlightened guy. You don't call me husband. You call me Swami or you call me Atman. We need not to say. Why should you make confusion among the children and wife? A silver appearance is an apparent reality on the shell. Shell should know that I am a shell. Even they can call me husband, father, son, Swami, anything. Nothing will make me different. Nothing will make any difference in me. Anybody can call anything in this world. I am Paramatman. You can continue with a body, but there is a separation. There is an enlightenment happen inside the mind. The mind is totally convinced about oneself and one's own nature. The error is inside the mind. And the right information also should take place inside the mind, not anything outside to do in the body. Body can be there. After knowing it is a rope, there will be always an appearance of a ripe snake on that. That will not make any difference in the rope. Similarly, even after knowing that I am Atman, body can continue as it is in this world. It never make any difference for me. Thus, one should discriminate and one should be very practical with the knowledge. One cannot be confused. One cannot make others also confused. Don't tell to the wife or mother, don't compel them. You should call me Swami. You should not call me son because I am not anybody's son. I am not anybody's husband. My teacher told me I am this ever eternal Brahman. That is due to the confusion. They can call anything. You are not subject to change due to their call. You continue to be always Brahman before knowing, after knowing, while knowing, anytime. You are eternal Parabrahman. This discrimination should be there, O Nachiketas, even if you continue with a body in the world after going from here. You have to join that for with this verse. Lord Death says that body and its features will not be pertaining to the self or Brahman which you are. All these features are only for body, and the body is separate from Atman because it is a superimposition on the Atman, and you discriminate both of them. One never existed at any point of time. One existed only in my mind, and you came to know that this mistake is only inside my mind. It is not there at all. The body notion is only inside my mind. There is no body, there is no senses. Only Parabrahman existed at any point of time. Even after knowing, the appearance of the body continues. Nothing wrong on that. I can deal with the body. I can drink water. I can take falafel, hummus. Anything you want to eat, you eat. No problem. Nothing will happen before the knowledge. You corrected yourself. The role is seen as the role. Role is not your real form. You have a role of a teacher. You have a role of a son. You have a role of a husband. After knowing this, a person continued to live in this world with a total liberation. He is called Jivan Muktaha, one who has complete discrimination with the body and the Atman. And there is no characteristics of body can make impure on Atman. Even if I do wrong thing, I am pure. Even if I don't take bath, I can go inside the temple as Atmajnani. But don't do that. I'm saying Atman is ever pure. In spite of all the defects pertaining to the body, it will not make any impurity in the Atman. If one have this discrimination, what will be the result? Here it is told a proper result also. What is the result for them? Dhiraha nashojadi. If one have this discrimination, Dhiraha, a person who is wise and who can discriminate completely the body from Atman. One is superimposed, one is subtracted. Superimposed body will not make any effect or defect in the subtractum. After knowing this, that will be the culmination of all sorrows. That is called liberation. That is called the end of life and life of death and birth circle. Dhiro na shojati. A wise man never grieves at all at any point of time. Anybody can condemn him. Anybody can criticize him. Life can bring lot of happiness at a moment. Life can bring lot of tragedies at a moment. Still he is in a shanta position with a lot of peace inside the mind. He is very calm. He is very quiet in spite of all the tragedies occurring around him. With a lot of happiness come on one day. Still he is shantam. Dhiro na shojati. A wise man will not get elevated or declined or ascended by anything. He will be at the same position. Na shojati. He will not have any griefs in his life. They can come and affect your mind, but you know the reality that I am not body. Any sorrow is pertaining to the mind and body, which is not me at all. I am this ever pure, all pervasive consciousness, which is called Brahman. Thus, a wise man will not grieve at all at any point of time. This is the meaning of this verse. We will see the next verse in the next class. Om Susti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahisha Gobrahmanebhya Shupamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sabino Bhavantu Kale Vashadu Parjanya Prithvi Sasya Shalini Yeshoyam Soparahitaha Brahmana Santu Narpayaha Sarve Bhavantu Suvinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Sato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Purnamadat Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha Hari Om Namaste